Okay, so this is part 2 of how to use the quick selection tool and the refine edge tool. And again, this is best used for things that are really difficult to select any other way. For instance, fuzzy things like my dog here, Mr. Pickles. So I've done most of it already, and I've saved the best for last, the whiskers. Now, I've never actually tried to do this before. This is my first time using this tool. I watched the demo video I found online, and of course, the guy making it look so easy. But I highly doubt it's going to be as easy as the guy on the video said it would be. So, like always, I'm going to zoom in. The zoom in is like super sensitive. I like barely touch it. It zooms all the way in. So you can see the edges. It's tough here because the carpet he's on is like the same color as his fur. So I've tried my best to try to make it look natural. When it's really going to depend on what background I put him on as to how much of that you're going to see. But at any rate, okay, so we got our 3 things we're working with. We've got the black, the gray, and the white. Now, if I do the black, it's going to remove things. It's going to remove things from the selection, right, with black. So like I'm looking at this down here, I'm just like seeing over here that I don't like. I just like don't want any of that little blob to be in there, but I'm being kind of picky. Now, every time I use this tool, once I unclick it, it takes some time. It takes some time for the image on the right to change. So I usually have to wait a second. I usually just have to stop everything and wait a second for it to change, and then it'll allow me to use it again. So I'm going to go over here. Now, this is where I stopped because the whiskers, right? I kind of want the whiskers to be in there. Now, this is tricky, but I think what I'm going to do is remove as much of the stuff around the whiskers as I possibly can using my black. Meaning what I do not want in the selection is going to be black. There's no undo tool, obviously, so you're going to have to use the white. If you want to undo your work, you basically have to re-add it with the white. Okay, so I'm going to take more away from here. Now, here's the thing. I've got a really big tool here. My circle is too big to do this job. So as soon as this is done loading, I can tell it's not done because basically that little circle kind of freezes up and doesn't do anything until that changes. I'm going to go up here to my gray, but I'm also going to reduce the size, and I'm going to attempt to do this magical thing that they did on this tutorial I watched, where you get to sort of include the whisker. Okay, I don't know. I kind of don't believe it's going to work as well as it showed on the video, but whatever. So I'm doing the gray around the whisker. Now let's see what happens. Of course, it's loading. And see, I'm also going to have to work on the area all around the whisker, probably using the black. Frozen, waiting. Okay, so that's the best it does for now. I'm going to use the black. I'm going to use a super small size, and I'm going to try to carve out that whisker a little bit. I'm not going to lie, this is annoying work. Maybe his whiskers aren't worth saving. I don't know. But it would be nice. It would be nice, right? Okay, something's happening. The idea too is to not make it perfect, but to at least give the impression that whiskers exist, perhaps, that there are whiskers. To me, I need to get rid of some of this stuff right here. This looks like scraggly carpet. Okay, let's see what happens. Waiting. Basically, the revisions I make on the left just like suddenly appear there. Oh, ooh, okay. I see a little bit I need to work on right here. Something weird's happening right there, right? Let's see if that helps. And don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch me do every single one of these whiskers. See, now none of you guys are going to choose your animals because it's too much of a pain in the butt, isn't it? But I'm thinking once I get him cut out, I'm going to put him in like outer space. I think that's where he really belongs when he's sleeping. Ooh, okay, I'm getting closer. Now, the really tough part too is what I'm working with over here. I can't even see it really. You know, I'm just like taking guesses as to what I'm erasing. Um, because it's all blending into that carpet. But frankly, working on this has been a whole lot of, you know, guessing and redoing and all that kind of stuff. I think it looks good, except I want to get rid of just that little gray blob on the end of that whisker. That's kind of driving me nuts. I think it's actually part of the carpet that's like darker. I'm like slowly getting it. But again, I'm just like taking guesses. All right, I'm gonna call that done. And I'm gonna hope there's enough transparency there that when it goes on to whatever background I'm putting it on, I'm just nitpicking now on the bottom of his mouth. Okay, now I'm gonna do one more whisker with y'all, and then I'm gonna finish it on my own and pause the recording. So I'm gonna go back to black, and I'm gonna try to remove all around this whisker, pretty close to the whisker itself. He's so much easier with like professional equipment, but I'm gonna use the same equipment for the most part that you guys use. Because it wouldn't be fair for me to go get some fancy pen and you guys only have these little trackpads. Okay. But yeah, the real pros, they have these like, you know, the fancy pens and stuff and a tablet. So it feels a lot more like drawing, you know? You can have a lot more control over what happens. Now it'll let me work for a while, you know, like as long as I don't unclick it. But as soon as I unclick it, it has to update over on the right. Do. Okay, so I kind of have that little whisker isolated, kind of. So I'm gonna do gray. I'm gonna try tracing this little whisker. See if that does anything. I'm gonna trace also the edge of his muzzle there. Okay, that kind of worked, right? Okay, I'm gonna trace right here along the edge of this muzzle. Make sure I get that fuzziness right there. It's almost like this picture. He's the same exact color as the carpet. It's kind of a worst case scenario. Okay. All right. So now I've got two whiskers. Now, even though those aren't super bright, they will show up a little bit. I mean, they at least won't look as awkward as him having no whiskers, I think. So I'm going to continue working on this. I'm going to pause the recording for now, and I'm going to come back when I've completed this mask. That's what I would call it, as a mask. And then we're going to see how to turn this back into a selection and go from there. So now I've got my selection done. I'm going to zoom out. And up here where it says new layer. Hi guys, just a sec. I'm kind of finishing a video for you. I'm going to switch it to selection. I'm going to push OK. And now I have a selection. Yay! So worst case scenario, oh my God, don't touch anything because you just spent forever making that selection. Now I'm going to go to select, inverse, and I'm going to go to edit, cut. And so hopefully this will cut out the background. It's taking a minute. All right, sweet. So and now I'm gonna go select. Sorry guys, I'm actually making a vid for you guys right now and I'm almost done. I'm gonna go to select, deselect, get rid of the squiggles, and I'm gonna save as PSD. I'm gonna call it pickles. And I'm gonna keep that for out of that.